welcome to Scrappin with Sheri. This is going to kind of be a throwback day, but in an effort to finish up some of my albums, complete a couple of pages here and there that I had left out, I decided that I would use today to do sketch number 33 with actually some late summer, early fall pictures that I had. I'll show you a technique on that one, but I'm using sketch number 33, page number 33 today in our sketchbook challenge. Now, when I started pulling out what I might have to go with this, I'm seeing lots of blues in my pictures, and I wanted to give kind of the late summer, early fall feel. And I had this border that I had pre-made. It's just a dark blue background, really thin, with a lighter blue in the middle. I went back and punched dragonflies out of the dark blue background and added those on. And then I just added some little flight lines along the way. Had this border for probably 3 or 4 years, and I felt like it would go well with these pictures of us outside, late summer, early fall, whatever. So I looked at this sketch because it does show several picture spots, title spots, whatever, but my border is this direction. So I'm going to be turning sketch on page 33 this direction. Now I pulled out a blue. This is actually from C's Please, and as a Fast to Fab page, I didn't really have a need for this side, but I love this blue, and I think it goes well with my border. And I also needed a background, and not much of it's going to show, and I kind of went back and forth. I thought, well, this would make a good background, but my pictures are all kind of light, and I felt like they showed up so much better on the blue, and I won't have to mat everything. So this will be my base page, and let's look at what the sketch says. So our border is supposed to be about 3 inches. It's a 12 by 3, and this one is almost 3. And then this inside page is going to be 11.5 by 9. So I'm going to cut that out of the blue using my trimmer, and I'm going 11.5 by 9. So I just need to shave a 1/2 inch off here. And then to make this 9, I'm going to shave 3 inches off. And I think I'm going to cut off this darker part here and leave me with a little bit of the lighter. This paper has a lot of shades of blue in it. And basically all I'm going to do is add this right on this page. Now on the sketch, let me go back to that, refer to it. It shows your border right up against the edge here. And I think I will go with that because that'll leave me a little more room for pictures. So basically all I've got to do is adhere all this. This is a good way to use paper when you've got just extra strips, is to go ahead and punch out of the paper and then use that on a coordinating paper on the front. And I don't know, it's been several years ago. I went through a bunch of paper scraps and made a lot of borders, not knowing what I would use them for or when. Some of them I've been able to give away to friends who were working on something. And today, this one just worked. So I kind of want to even my spacing out here. And because of the size of the border, that's working out pretty well. Now let me look at their photo layout. They've got photo here, a photo here. The problem is getting them all in when you've got a lot of verticals. I don't mind covering my arm there where I was taking the selfie. I could go this way and then add this picture down here. If I scoot these over, that's actually pretty good, and that gives me some journaling space here. And the only other element I'm missing on this, they added in little blocks, and then this picture is matted. So let me look for some colors where I could add in a couple of little blocks, and I could do that here and here rather than on each side, and I need to mat this. So let me pull some papers and see what we can do with that. So when I started looking at what I want to do on this page, I'm pulling out my personal trimmer. I did want to show you this because I do this sometimes. We were trying to take a selfie of all of us sitting at the table, and we had 2 pictures. In one picture, this one, my son only had a little tiny bit of his head, and then he rotated the camera just a little to get a little bit more of his face. So I just cut those pictures off and taped them together where his hat bill and my hair were the same, and I was able to get a picture with more of his face and more of his wife's face in there to make one picture. Now, because that one is the one that needs to be matted, when I looked at it, I had used a shades of beige paper on the back here, so I really didn't want to go with stark white. I pulled out this scrap that I have from a piece of Welcome Home, and the problem is this picture kind of fades out a little bit just on that, but it looks really good with the blue behind it. So I'm going to use this scrap that I had left from here and use it to mat this picture. So I'm just going to kind of cut this in half, and I'm going to weld the scrap together to make it large enough to accommodate my picture. So I've got a welded picture on a welded mat on this page. How weird is that? And then I'm just going to add my photo right down here. I'm making this a tiny little mat. I don't really want a lot, but I want it enough to set it off when I put it on that beigey color. I do really like my personal trimmer for little things like this. I guess because I've had it for so long, I'm just really accustomed to using it more. And then I'm going to slide this onto the beige. I don't do a whole lot of double matting, but on this case, I think it's going to be really pretty. And it's really going to make this picture pop. Most of my videos, if you were watching me, you notice that a lot of times it just doesn't take very long for me to put colors together and things like that. That's because I use all the collections. I am a big fan of the Creative Memories collections and the way they all go together, the way they coordinate with each other. It just takes all the guesswork out of your colors. Now, remember on our sketch, we had these little 1x3s here. I could go back and add maybe a 1x3 there. Let's cut it down and see what we can get. This is just a mat, a journaling mat that I had from an old pack. I think it might have been from a fall pack, maybe last year, year before, something like that. And I pulled it because I like the way the blue and the stripes work, and I think it'll be a good journaling mat for here. That 1x3 is a little small, I think, to go there. So I'm going to go back and cut me another 1 inch and then slide it under this picture. That just takes up some extra room that I don't really need. What do you think? Would you make it a little bit bolder? Let's try that. Maybe a 1.5. Oh, yeah. I like that much better. That just kind of takes out that extra space there. So we could do a 1 inch here. I could just take up all the space with these cute little stripes. And basically I'm knocking out all of my blue paper that I had there. And then use this little box for my journaling. Well, as usual, I've managed to totally change the sketch around, but I'm kind of happy with the way it looks there. So I think I will use this for journaling. I may even set a little bit of this in there to do my journaling on. So that coordinates. So let's go ahead and stick this down and see what we think. I'm going to trim that box down just a hair. Not a whole lot. And I don't have a whole lot to say. I'll probably put the date. We just decided to do a little impromptu get together. I do have a little scrap of that blue left. I want this to fit inside the border of that blue, so I'm going to cut it down just a little more. If nothing else, I try to at least include the date. Sometimes there's not much more than that. And I'm okay with doing it that way. I want the date, sometimes the event. But like I said, this wasn't a really big deal. Just a little impromptu. Hey, let's all go out to dinner and go eat ice cream. And that's what happened. I'm doing some welding again here because I think this blue mat inside that would be really pretty. And then I'm going to cover it over with the little beige to actually do my journaling on. And then I'll journal with a navy pen. You can see I'm sticking all these parts and pieces here and there. Nobody who looks at my album is ever going to notice this, and that's the good thing. And I've used up another scrap that I don't have to store. Just trim that to get a straight edge there. Now, I could very easily find some stickers for this, maybe, because I would need something with some ice cream on it. I'll have to look through my embellishments and see if I can come up with some ice cream that would look cute. And there again, we're going to kind of mimic our mat here, just a tiny thin piece of glue. And I'm going to trim off just a hair here just to get that that spacing evened up a little bit better. All right. I like the look of that. So let me check for some embellishments and we'll finish this page out. So I glanced through my embellishments. I went ahead and did my journaling real quick. The problem is any ice cream I had just didn't really go with the colors I've got going on this page. So rather than make it not match, I decided to just go without an ice cream embellishment. Now I did find these two stickers, Meals and Memories and I Ate This. So I decided that I would add them on this page. I'm going to go ahead and stick my journaling box down. And then I could stick this here because there was my ice cream. We could put it here where a couple of the different ice creams are. I could put it up here because I don't really have much up there. And I'm kind of trying to cover up that blue a little bit. I think that's what I'll do. Stick that right up against the edge of my dragonfly border and cover up some of that bright blue that's on the wall there. And then I think this might be nice here. Just kind of to round out what we got going on. And it's right up against the edge of my page. So there we have it. This is page 33 in the sketchbook. Mine is turned this direction, but I have the border element. I have several pictures and journaling. I just alternated where I put those things. I went ahead and added some blocks here for a little emphasis. And page 33 in the sketchbook is complete. Hope you like this page and I hope you'll give it a try. Until next time, happy scrapping.